Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, I just wanted to stop by real quick and go through 15 USC 1602. It might not be real quick, but we're going to read through it and go over some important terms that I feel like y'all should know. I'm going to break them down, so hopefully y'all can understand them. Just finished in my daughter's basketball game. They lost, but it's all good. They had fun. They all did good. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. I ain't gonna waste y'all time with no filler. Let's do it. I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna jump straight to 15 USC 1601. I got my notes and stuff here, so if y'all see me looking down, I had to print out this so I can highlight shit on the codes, the ones that I really want to hit with y'all. And these are my notes. So if y'all see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. All right, let me share my screen with y'all. All right, 15 USC 1601. Congressional Findings and Declaration of Purpose. Let's get it. So, A, informed use of credit. The Congress finds that economic stabilization would be enhanced and the competition among the various financial institutions and other firms engaged in the extension of consumer credit would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. Would be strengthened by the informed use of credit. The informed use of credit results from an awareness of the costs thereof by consumers. It is the purpose of this subchapter to assure meaningful disclosure of credit terms so that the consumer will be able to compare more readily the various credit terms and available to him and avoid the uninformed use of credit and to protect the consumer against inaccurate and unfair credit billing and credit card practices and to protect the consumer against inaccurate and unfair credit billing and credit card practices. So basically, what A talks about, basically Congress feels that if we the consumer were better informed of credit, it would better the economy. But that only happens by the consumer gaining awareness of the use of credit and who you are. They also say um, they want you to be better prepared, to prepare better to avoid the uninformed use of credit, to protect yourself from unfair and inaccurate billing and credit card practices. So we're going to go over credit, what that means. We're going to go over what credit cards mean, creditor. We're going to go over all these things and really break it down. So B says terms of personal property leases. The Congress also finds that there has been a recent trend toward leasing automobiles and other durable goods for consumer use as an alternative to installment credit sales, and that these leases have been offered without adequate cost disclosures. It is the purpose of this subchapter to assure meaningful disclosure of the terms of leases of personal property for personal, family, or household purposes, so as to enable the leasee to compare more readily the various lease terms available to him, limit balloon payments in consumer leasing, enable comparison of lease terms with credit terms where appropriate, and to assure meaningful and accurate disclosures of lease terms in advertisements. So basically what they're telling us is pretty much all of these car leases that are being done without the adequate cost disclosures or disclosures, period, that we're supposed to receive. So I'm gonna try and stay on track this video, but there are a lot of codes outside of 1602 that relate to 1602 or 1601. All these codes kind of relate to each other, but I'm gonna try and stay on track for this video. But real quick, look up 15 USC 6802 that talks about opting out for disclosures. We're never told about those type of disclosures. But anyways, so this chapter is also to inform you about disclosures dealing with personal property. So yeah, that's A and B. This is the Congressional Findings and Declaration of Purpose, which is the reason why Congress created this subchapter. So let's move on to it. 15 USC 1602, definitions and rules of construction. Before I start real quick, where my book at? Hold on. So y'all want to read the stuff that I be reading, you can also go online, but I stay in this type of book. I also have Title 18 that I stay in. I love this type of shit. So y'all have questions or don't understand something, if I can't explain it clear to y'all, or if it's not clear, because how I understand it is not how y'all gonna understand it, because I've been reading this shit for a while and studying and researching word for word. All right, so let's get into it. A, definitions and rules of construction set forth in this section are applicable for the purposes of this subchapter. B, the term bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. When we talk about the consumer reporting agencies, we call them credit bureaus, but they are not bureaus. They are not bureaus. The only bureau is the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're a United States government agency dedicated to making sure we're treated fairly by banks, lenders, and other financial institutions, as it states on their website. This is the agency that all your creditors, debt collectors, and the consumer reporting agencies report to, pretty much. You can go on their website and submit a claim, a dispute, or whatever have you. If you're going through some stuff with the consumer reporting agencies and you're trying to get stuff verified and they just not working with you and they're not giving you the proper documents back, you can submit a claim with the CFPB. Their website is cfpb.gov. Let's move on. I'm gonna skip over C. You can read it, look it up and all that if you want. D, the term organization means a corporation, government, or governmental subdivision or agency, trust, estate, partnership, cooperative, or association. Excuse me. So first, let's break down a couple of words in here that might be you don't know about. A governmental subdivision. A subdivision is just a smaller part of something. So just a smaller part of government or governmental agency, how they put it. So that's what a governmental subdivision is. Black's law defines subdivision as the division of a thing into smaller parts. So it's just a smaller part of a government. So D, an organization, that's what that means. The term person means a natural person or an organization. So I'll repeat again. The term person means a natural person or an organization. That's where they get you at. You don't understand a lot of these who you are in the eyes of the law, because we look at person. Sometimes we think they're thinking that they're talking about us, but they're talking about the organization. Sometimes we might think they're talking about the organization because of what's being said in the paragraph, but they're talking about us and the organization. We'll get to this because a lot of these meanings have double meanings. They're talking to you and they're talking to an organization, as we'll see as we continue on. All right, F. The term credit means the right granted by a creditor to a debtor to defer payment of debt or to incur debt and defer its payment. So basically, excuse me. Oh man, excuse me. So defer. What does defer mean? Defer means to postpone or delay until a later date, according to Black's law. So incur means to become liable or subject to, bring down upon oneself, incur obligations, incur expenses. You become liable. A lot of reason we become liable for a lot of this debt because we never answer in a proper way. We leave it. They send us these presentments and we set them to the side in a junk pile or whatever instead of responding to it. So let's move on. Before I hit G, I'm going to skip G and come back to it because I feel like there's a lot of terms within G that they haven't covered for us yet. They haven't told us what a credit card is. They haven't told us what a card issuer is. They haven't told us who the card holder is and all this type of stuff. Even when I talk about the card holder is. So we're going to skip to paragraph L so we can see what all this stuff means first, and then we'll come back up to see who the creditors are, even though they tell you some clear shit up in here. Excuse my language. All right, first, we're going to stop. No, we're going to go straight to L. Let's go straight to L. Credit card. A very important paragraph. You should remember where it's at and how to get to it. 15 USC 1602, paragraph L. The term credit card means any card, plate, coupon book, or other credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services on credit. So, what do you use in order to obtain money, property, labor, or services on credit? That fits into one of those categories: card, plate, coupon book, or credit, or other credit device, which is social security card, your driver's license, a license plate, debit cards, billing coupons, library cards, etc. Anything that you use in order to obtain credit, or to pay off a debt at a later date, that's what a credit card is. All right, so now let's skip to N, card holder. The card holder means any person to whom a credit card is issued, or any person who has agreed with the card issuer to pay obligations arising from the issuance of a credit card to another person. All right, so card holder. Let's understand this. So let's understand it from both points. We're gonna start with the natural person. So the card holder means any natural person to whom a credit card is issued. So you're issued a credit card, a driver's license from the state, or your social security card from the state, or whatever. So that's what they're talking about in that part. Any person to whom a credit card is issued. Also, they're talking about any organization to whom a credit card is issued by you. You issue an organization or the creditor your credit card when you get credit. You have to give them a form of identification. You have to sign paperwork. You have to give them your social security number. So you're issuing them a credit card at the beginning. So you are the card holder, and then they are the card holder as well. So, or any person who has agreed with the card issuer to pay obligations arising from the issuance of a credit card to another person. So, any person who has agreed with the card issuer to pay obligations arising from the issuance of a credit card to another person. Who is the card issuer? The term card issuer means any person who issues a credit card or the agent of such person with respect to such card. So, let's break it down again. Any person, we're gonna go with natural person first. So the card holder, the card issuer is any natural person who issues a credit card or the agent of such person with respect to the card. So when you issue a credit card to a creditor, you're the card issuer as well. Or the organization can be the card issuer if they're the state and they issue your driver's license, or if they're issuing you that card or plate or coupon, whatever that document is. So it can be both ways. So you have to start seeing yourself in both ways. Stop seeing yourself as the debtor because you're the creditor. So now let's go up to G. Sorry, I'm going fast. I'm got some pre-workout in me. I've been up since like 3:30 this morning. Got a little pre-workout. My body just but I'm trying to get this video done today because I ain't gonna have time the rest of the week to do this mug. And I've been working on it the past couple of days trying to get it out to you all. All right, so let's go back up to G. All right, this is a little lengthier paragraph, but bear with me. I'm not gonna read the entire thing. I'll probably stop somewhere around in here, but I just want to point out a couple things to you all. The term creditor refers only to a person who both regularly extends, whether in connection with loans, sales of property or services, or otherwise, consumer credit, which is payable by agreement in more than 4 installments, or for which the payment of a finance charge is or may be required, and is the person to whom the debt arising from the consumer credit transaction is initially payable on the face of the evidence of indebtedness, or if there is no such evidence of indebtedness, by agreement. This is an important one I want you to understand right here. Notwithstanding the preceding sentence, notwithstanding means in spite of, or in spite of would mean without being affected by a particular factor mentioned or something like that. But yeah, notwithstanding the preceding sentence, in the case of an open-end credit plan involving a credit card, the card issuer and any person who honors the credit card and offers a discount, which is a finance charge, are what? are creditors. Are what? Are creditors. In the case of an open-end credit plan involving a credit card, we know what a credit card is. The card issuer, we know who the card issuer is, and any person, who are they talking about right now? They're not talking about the natural person. They're talking about the organization who honors the credit card and offers a discount, which is a finance charge, are creditors. You are the card issuer in this instance. Organization is the person. For the purpose of the requirements imposed under Part D of this subchapter and Section 1637, blah, 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 all those, we ain't gonna go to those, of this title, the term creditor should also include card issuers, whether or not the amount due is payable by agreement in more than 4 installments, or the payment of a finance charge is or may be required. And the Bureau shall, by regulation, apply these requirements to such card issuers to the extent appropriate, even though the requirements are by their terms applicable only to creditors often offering open-end credit plans. Read this, understand this shit. You are the card issuer. They even saying it down here that they need to apply these requirements to card issuers as well, because you are a creditor. We are the original creditor. This is what makes you the original creditor. What makes you the original creditor is because you give them the credit card to get credit, to obtain your own credit. You have to give them the credit card to obtain credit, which makes you the original creditor. Excuse me. All right, let's keep moving. I. The adjective consumer used with reference to a credit transaction characterizes the transaction as one in which the party to whom credit is offered or extended is a natural person, and the money, property, or services which are the subject of the transaction primarily for personal, family, or household purposes. This is what the consumer, who a consumer is. This is what the consumer is. A natural person, basically, to make a long story short, is us. Anyone using their credit to obtain money, property, or services for personal, family, or household purposes is you. You're a consumer. That's what we classified in this subchapter. All right, let's go to J. I ain't gonna touch on this too much. So I ain't gonna read J, but I do want you to know what a consumer credit transaction is. Consumer credit transaction is a transaction by which a person receives a loan to buy consumer goods or services. So that's what a consumer credit transaction is, when you receive a loan to buy consumer goods or services. A funny thing up in here, reasonably contemplates, just read through J. It's not a huge deal breaker, but every one of these paragraphs is a deal breaker, honestly. But go ahead and read through that mug. So everything pretty much further on down starts to deal into like agriculture, mortgage terms like residential mortgage transactions, high cost mortgages, mortgage insurance, how to calculate points and fees for open-end consumer credit plans, and so on. So you should definitely take a look at the rest of these because it really gets into mortgage stuff, and it's very, very pertinent information. I just wanted to cover these few terms that really deal with all of us, because everything we do, even if you got a library card, is dealing with consumer shit. So definitely make sure you know what's going on. All right, so that was a quick review of 1602. I hope I was 15 USC 1602 for the ones that don't know the title. I hope I was able to explain it. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I hope I was talking clearly so you can understand me. And yeah, so this is what it is. I'll be back with another video of another US code that I think is important for us to understand. And I'm just gonna start breaking it down. This is the first step for us. I feel like this is the most important one for us to start understanding dealing with consumer credit. These terms, what a creditor is, what credit is, who a creditor is, who a person is, who an organization is, who a card issuer, who the card holder is, we need to understand these terms, because when we're getting these, when we're using our credit, we have to stop thinking that we're the debtor. In the Bible, a debtor is a sinner. We're not debtors. We are the original creditors. The United States uses our credit to operate. They run off our credit. That's for another video, another time. I hope you all enjoyed the video, like I said, and stay in tune. If you're not in tune, get in tune. Holla at your boy. Safe travels.